Hello and welcome to a new vlog. I hope you had a good start into the new year. I definitely had, although it was very cold, as you can see in these clips of me going to work. It was like minus 15 degrees where I spent my first 2 weeks of the year, and I was literally just freezing the whole time. Hello, I am getting ready to see Conclave right now because multiple people recommended that film to me and I just really want to see it, and they are only showing it, I think, this week still, so I'm going to go see it in a bit and I'm really excited. It's about the whole conclave process at the Vatican, and apparently it's really interesting because it really shows the process of how they're electing a new pope, because it has so many like ancient rituals and rules they need to follow, and Ralph Fiennes is one of the leading characters, I believe, and I'm super excited and I will keep you posted on how I liked it. And I also started reading a new book and I'm really excited about that as well, and it is Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell by Susanna Clarke, because I read Susanna Clarke's Piranesi at the end of last year and I absolutely loved it and I really wanted to read her debut, and I finally found it when we were in Vienna. One of the bookstores just had the new edition of the book, which has an introduction by V.E. Schwab. And I read the introduction, it's really nice, and I'm currently on page 35 and I really just want to keep reading because the atmosphere Susanna Clarke is creating is just so immaculate. And that's it for the update basically, and I'm gonna get back to you once I finished watching the film. Okay, I just finished watching the film and it was so good. Like seriously, seeing the process behind a conclave was just so interesting and the visuals were absolutely stunning. I'm gonna do some research on how accurate the film is and how accurately it depicts the processes of like behind the scenes of a conclave, but so far I really liked it and I really enjoyed like how modern they presented the church in comparison to how it is usually being perceived, and also the conflict between new views and the old views was just extremely interesting, and yeah, I would recommend. It was really good. I feel like I'm always filming in the same spot when I go to university, but it's extremely cold at the moment and I'm absolutely freezing. First of all, Happy New Year. I know it's a little bit late, but I was only able to film a video now, so I thought we might start with a little Christmas and holiday book haul that I have prepared right here next to me. I'm going to show you all of the books that I got for Christmas and some of the books that I got on a little trip we did to Vienna last week. So without any further ado, let's just get into it. So one of the books I got for Christmas is Emily Wilde's Never of the Otherlands, and I'm so excited about this one because I absolutely adored the first book. It was so good. I loved the depiction of fairies in Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies, and I bet that this one will be just as good. I heard so many good things about it, and I think this book just follows our two main characters, Emily and Bambley, and we're just gonna see what further adventures they embark on. So I can't wait to start reading this one. I love the cover as well, and the blurb on the back just sounds very intriguing. So yeah, I'm gonna update you when I read this one. And I also know that the next book, or I think it's the last book in the trilogy, is going to come out at the end of January or something. I'm not entirely sure. So yeah, that was my first Christmas book. And then the second book I got for Christmas is one about Nordic fairy tales. It looks like this. This is the German version. And it includes folk and fairy tales from Norway, Sweden, Finland, Iceland and Denmark. And it's illustrated as well, as you can see on the cover already. All of these illustrations are in the same style, I believe. And I just adore how they look like. They're just really absolutely beautiful, and I feel like they really add to the stories. I still need to dive into them, but I can't wait to do so very soon because most of them seem to have a rather wintry vibe as well. So yeah, I will keep you updated on this one as well. And then I got this book, which is about the sister of Mozart. So as far as I know, they have been doing some research about Nana Mozart recently because her brother is very, very famous for being one of the greatest composers ever, basically. And she apparently was a great composer as well. But because she was a woman, the time in which she lived in did not allow her to become a great and famous composer as well. So I'm really excited to see what this book is about and how she lived her life, because apparently she was really talented as well, but I believe she had to get married, and I'm interested to see how her talent for music kind of collided with the social norms of the time back then. And then I got another book which was on my wish list for a really, really long time, and it's The Bear and the Nightingale by Catherine Arden. And this is the cover I like more. I think it's the American edition. I just love that it has like a little frame around here. And this is a retelling of a Russian fairy tale, I believe. And I love retellings of fairy tales because the atmosphere is always very immaculate if it's well written. So I'm not entirely sure which fairy tale it is because I'm not very well versed in Russian fairy tales, but I read the first few pages already and the atmosphere is so well written. You can really feel like the winter and the snow kind of coming through the pages. So I will be reading this soon since it's still really cold outside at the moment. Okay, and then the last books I will say I got for Christmas is actually a box set of 3 books. And it's a German fairy tale collection, and it has these beautiful editions, which I'm really, really excited about. It contains Andersen's fairy tales, Grimm's fairy tales, and House fairy tales. So there's 1 book for each author, and I'm super excited to read them. I feel like the cover illustrations are so beautiful, and these are mostly the fairy tales that I grew up with. And we've got a lot of adaptations of these fairy tales on television as well, and I grew up listening to them, watching them on TV, and I never really knew which fairy tales were written by which author, or were rather written down by which author. So I'm really excited to see who I can credit for each of the fairy tales. These are not illustrated on the inside, but they still look really nice, and I bet it will be an absolute pleasure to dive back into my childhood tales. And now let's move on to the 3 books that I got in Vienna when we did our little trip. The first one is actually my currently reading as well, and it is Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell by Susanna Clarke. I already read Susanna Clarke's Piranesi at the end of last year, and I absolutely adored that book. So I really wanted to see what her debut novel was all about, and it's actually really long for a debut novel, as you can see. I'm currently on page 60 and I love the atmosphere she's creating as well. I really love atmospheric books, if you haven't noticed already. So I feel like this will be a delight to read. I'm already enjoying it a great deal. It takes me a while to get through it because some pages are packed with information, because this book has footnotes as well, which are sometimes almost as long as an entire page. So yeah, but it's basically a story about two great magicians and how they changed the world in a battle of magic, basically. So I think it's kind of like a collision of old and new magic and how this affects the world they're living in. So far, I've only been introduced to one of them, the old magician, Mr. Norrell, and he's a very curious creature. I can't really put my finger on him because he's just so curious, but I'm really excited to get to know more about the character and the world and just continue reading. And then I got another classic actually while we were in Vienna, and it's Fyodor Dostoevsky's Crime and Punishment. Recently I've been watching the TV show The Great, which is about Catherine the Great, who was the Empress of Russia, and it just made me want to get back into Russian literature again. For those of you who didn't know, I started reading Anna Karenina at some point last year, I believe, but I never made it past the 50 or 60 page mark, I think. I really enjoyed Tolstoy's writing, but it's just such a long book that I just didn't want to continue reading at the point. But I will soon, I hope. I've just seen Crime and Punishment around a few times. For example, in Ruby Granger's wrap-up of the reading year 2024, she mentioned that she really enjoyed Crime and Punishment, so I really wanted to give it a try as well. So that's why I was very happy to see it at the bookstore in Vienna. And then the last book that I got on our little trip is actually not a novel, but more of a non-fiction book. And it's the exhibition catalogue about the Rembrandt and Hoogstraten exhibition. It's called Colour and Illusion. We actually went to this exhibition and it was extremely packed. And there were so many people there. And I really wanted to take a longer look at the paintings in some cases. So, because I didn't have the nerve to do that, sometimes I then bought the catalogue afterwards, and I'm so excited I did because the paintings were absolutely beautiful, and this might be one of my favourite art exhibitions I've ever been to. So I am super excited that I bought my second exhibition catalogue actually, though the other one I have is not an art history exhibition, but it's about a history exhibition about the Middle Ages, which was top notch as well. So I'm glad that I'm kind of slowly building an exhibition catalogue collection, but this one has a lot of the beautiful paintings of the exhibition inside, and I really can't wait to read the articles and essays that the art historians who worked with the exhibition put into this. Yeah, so that's the last book that I wanted to show you. But it was not actually the last thing that I wanted to show you, because I got one more thing that I would really like to showcase on here, and because I saw a lot of people actually do these, but I never got my hands on one. And it is a miniature house, like a book nook, but this one's Kathy's Flower House, and this is my absolute favourite out of all of them, so I'm really glad that I got this as a gift for Christmas. And I can't wait to build it actually. I'm probably going to take you along with me because it's going to take a while, I suppose. But yeah, it's by Rolife, I believe. I don't know if that's the company. Okay, that was it for now. I'm going to go to the cinema again later actually, because I have been wanting to see Wicked for a while now. Actually, I've been wanting to see Wicked since it came out. So I will finally go and see it before it's not in the cinemas anymore. The weather here is super weird, but I'm on my way to the cinema again because I'm gonna go watch Wicked finally, after I feel like everybody else has already seen it. I got home a while ago from the film, and I'm not entirely sure how I feel about it yet. I mean, I enjoyed it, but I thought it would be better than it actually was, but that may be just hype. I feel like the majority of the film doesn't really add to the plot, and I also thought that Glinda would be a little bit different than she actually was. I feel like she was a little bit too superficial for me, although she does have some character development throughout the film, but I generally just like Elphaba better. And another problem I had with the film is that I thought it was very predictable. Like, most of the things that happened, I already knew that they were coming, and there weren't any plot twists for me because I kind of expected the things to happen. But I did really enjoy the ending. It was so iconic, like seeing Elphaba. I'm not going to spoil anything, but the ending was really great, and I am considering watching a second film in cinema as well. And I also thought the love interest was a little bit superfluous because he didn't really add anything to it. He was just being annoying. And I thought it was really annoying that it was the love interest for the two of them as well. So, yeah, I don't know. But I did like seeing the friendship between Elphaba and Glinda, even though like how it developed was a little bit sudden. And I'm also curious to see how it's gonna develop further in the second part. Yeah, these are my thoughts on the film. Let me know how you liked it, if you've seen it. I just expected like a little bit more. I didn't like the song so much either. But yeah, that was Wicked. And then after I saw the film, I went to the grocery store, which was right opposite of the cinema, which, by the way, was the biggest grocery store I've ever seen in my life. It was absolutely insane. They were selling everything. And I got myself a cherry Coke because I was really craving one. I've been thinking about cherry Coke the entire film. So I got this, and then I walked home, and it was actually pretty cold, so I'm glad that I'm here now. And I'm gonna read a little bit more in my book, and then maybe I'm gonna play my like cozy game on my Switch. I'm currently playing the Da Vinci Code, and then I'm gonna probably go to sleep because tomorrow I really want to start building my miniature house kit that I got for Christmas, and I really can't wait. And I want to do like a cozy reading day and like building this, and maybe I'm going to game a little bit because I don't really have anything to do for university right now, because I already had all of my presentations, or I prepared all of my presentations. My last one is on Monday, but it's already finished. That's basically all I wanted to say. I hope you're having a great night, and I will talk to you later. Good morning. It is the next day now, and we're building this one together today, or at least I'm going to start building this one, and I'm super excited and I hope it's going well. I'm also gonna turn on some music and light a candle, and then we'll see how it is going and how fast I am. This is what I have so far. We've got a little table, a rack, and a painting on a stand. And I broke the stand actually, but I will fix it later. And then we also have a wall rack, and let's see what we're gonna do next. So I just finished making this kind of wall for the back of the flower house, I believe, and I'm quite proud actually because it looks really cute. This is what it looks like right now. We got our little door, we got the back wall already, and it's looking pretty good so far. And I didn't break any more pieces, so I'm kind of proud of myself actually. So then I made a quick snack because I was getting hungry, and here you can see all of the things that I built so far. And at this point I was just really sick of making all of these plants and flowers. And here you can see some of the other supplies that are still leftovers. Okay, so I'm doing the interior right now, and I put together all of these already, and yeah, I'm nearing the end. I've been doing this the entire day now, and I can't wait to be finished. There were so many flowers to assemble. I don't want to assemble another flower for the next few weeks. This is how it looks like right now. The interior is done, I believe, and I'm gonna do the lights now. I finally finished it. I'm gonna show you the results tomorrow morning because the light in here is very bad at the moment, but I'm so happy that it's finally over. It was also a lot of fun doing it, but I just really despised doing all of the plants, which is a little bit ridiculous because it is a flower house. So I should have noticed that before. But I think if I'm gonna do another one of these, I would definitely choose something that has more books, because making the books was much more fun. And I also think that the glue that they included in the package wasn't so good for what I was making. I wish they would have added a liquid glue instead of double-sided tape, because it just didn't work very well. And sometimes it was kind of hard to assemble everything, and nothing was sticking to each other. And I'm going to show you tomorrow, which for you is in a few seconds. Okay, so here it is in its full glory. You can see that there are many details, so it was really a lot of work. It took me an entire day, but I like how it turned out. Hi, so today was the day where I ran some errands, and then tomorrow will be probably kind of a readathon. But I'm gonna go home now and read my book as well. But I did get some new pajamas and also some slippers for home, because the floor was just too cold not to wear slippers and I didn't have good ones, so I got some. I quickly wanted to end my weekly vlog here. Thank you so much for watching. As you could see, I mostly try to read Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell by Susanna Clarke, and I'm not sure how I like it so far. I'm actually simultaneously filming kind of like a readathon, which did not go so well because this book is a little bit hard to read for me for some reason. I am currently on page 223, but you can see me discuss this book a little bit more in the readathon, which I will be uploading shortly as well. But I'm just not entirely sure about whether I like it or not, but as I already said, if you want a more detailed account on how I like this book so far, just go check out my next video. Other than that, I hope you're having a nice rest of your day or week, wherever you are, and I hope to see you in my next video.